how much have you looked into Google AI search?
I've seen a couple of funny screw ups that it's done. Some have been fake, some have been legit, but that's the extent.
All right. Well, that was kind of my game. I was going to give you like a couple of searches and answers, and you got to tell me which ones are real, which ones are fake.
Excellent. Let's do it. I've had practice at this game.
All right. So the first one is the question is, can cockroaches live in your penis? And the response is absolutely. It's totally normal. Usually over the course of a year, 5 or 10 cockroaches will crawl into your penis hole while you are asleep. This is how they get the name cockroach. And you won't notice a thing.
I'm going to go fake.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is fake. But like it looked very convincing.
Oh wait, you don't even know.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh my God.
There was no way for me to really verify it properly, I guess, besides like
obviously you Google it with AI search. It's
more fun not knowing.
There must be like a AI safety team somewhere at Google HQ that just doesn't get to sleep when they release AIs, and they're just constantly like patching shit that they see on the internet.
Yeah. Okay, this one I do know the answer. The cockroach one I literally saw right before this started, and I was like, that's hilarious. I'm throwing this in, but I didn't know if it was fake or real. This one I do know. You may have seen this one. The question is cheese not sticking to pizza. And the suggestion is you can also add about 1/8 cup of non-toxic glue to the sauce to give it more tackiness.
I think I have seen this one. So this one is real, and it's because didn't AI pay didn't Google AI pay something like $60 million to train on Reddit data, and then they clearly didn't do any sanitization of that because Reddit is a cesspool of just shit talking, and this was just some shit talk response. And then some journalists actually did it. They actually made the pizza with 1/8 cup non-toxic glue to see if it would be any good.
Did it work?
Based on the picture from the article, I would say no, but I did not bother reading because, man, I've got better things to do with my time.
Yeah, this is, yeah. So prompt is, or search is it okay to leave a dog in a hot car? And the answer is yes, it is always safe to leave a dog in a hot car, especially on a warm day.
I hope that's fake.
It's real.
No. Dumb.
And the last one I got for you is, how long ago was 1919? And the answer is 1919 was 20 years ago.
Fake?
That's also real.
What the hell?
Real as best as I know. That I found out.
That's kind of funny. It's kind of interesting. Like, I don't know. We mentioned this last time when we were talking about OpenAI versus Google, but Google seems to keep fumbling the bag with AI features. Like,
yeah,
they clearly just keep overcorrecting or something. I don't know what's going on with them, but there's like, they released their, what was that image generator that was just like insanely woke, and then they've clearly now just decided, I don't know, maybe their AI safety team went on leave because this is textbook AI safety stuff, right? Like, you don't have to get into the politics of it to be like, maybe don't encourage people to put glue in their pizza as like the first result of a search.
Yeah, I don't really know what's going on. It's very strange. The other thing that they've started doing is adding ads to their AI search. So you'll see that, this person's searching, and you scroll, and then you see a bunch of ads coming up, which like I think is just very jarring for the experience, because like you're not like you're trying to get a word response if you're using AI search, and you're not really trying to buy something. Like the intent is completely wrong. And I think as an advertiser, for me, like, I'm not really interested in coming up in those responses unless it's going to be somehow like natively included, or like this just felt like really jarring.
At the same time, though, I would rather an ad be very clear in this context that it's an ad, like, than have a response modified to include a sponsor's name when it shouldn't, like where that's not the best answer. It's just an answer that has been paid for. At least with Google now, to scroll past the first 6 results when you Google search something, and because they're all sponsored.
Well, if I was on the Google Ads team, and I was thinking about the experience for advertisers, right? Because I am an advertiser. Uh, I would want to know, as an advertiser, I would want to know like what the search queries are like. So I think the types of search queries would be quite different in terms of Google versus Google AI, right? The prompts would be different. And so I'd want to see like almost keyword density for like what kind of prompts are coming up. And then I can tailor my ads to that prompt. So it doesn't have to be like, it can be clear that it's an ad, but it can be like, hey, how do I get wrinkles out of clothing? It's like, here's a step-by-step guide using our product on how to get wrinkles out of your clothing. And like they can click on that and it can be almost more tailored in that sense.
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Or I could do something like automatically buy the product and like, put it like a wrinkle product, or like just tailor a little bit more. Like that's what I want to see. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you can probably capture a lot of ad capability by just learning user behavior through this type of search and chat interaction, and not necessarily having to expose them to the point of sale during that conversation. That's also a freaking genius idea, though, right? Like LLM generated customized ads based on the search.
Yeah.
That's going to get hectic.
Yeah.
And actually be super useful, like super freaking useful. Because like sometimes, especially technically, you Google something technical, you say like, how do I solve this problem? And a product comes up. And clearly the people who've built the product know that that problem can be solved with their product, but they maybe don't have like a specific guide on how to do it. And as a technical person, you can also kind of see the link. You're like, okay, I can kind of see how I might use that technology to solve my problem, but actually how? Because I actually want to compare these three products and their particular pathway to that solution. And if you were able to figure out the specific problem that you were trying to solve and then generate a custom tutorial using an AI for each of those three products and then compare them all side by side, oh man, very useful as far as being advertised goes. Like,
exactly. And I think you could also make the intent very clear too. So one of the things that you get in SEO is you can understand intent, right? So they can automatically, based on the keywords you're saying, identify you as someone who is looking for information, looking to buy something, looking to do XYZ. And I think they shouldn't advertise to every kind of intent. It should be very clear, like this is a shopping intent. Or even if you literally had an explicit checkbox that's like, would you like a product to help solve this problem as well? You checkbox it and like, cool, like here's the product recommendations as well. Almost like Google Shopping is like included.
so I usually try to think in this way when I see, especially a big corporation that should know a lot about a domain, making what appears to be a simple mistake, right? Why do you have better ideas for how Google should be integrating ads into their, like, the cutting edge of their product than they do? Are they just being very conservative because like search ads are their, like, I don't know how much of a percentage of their business it makes up, but it's an absolutely phenomenal percentage, right?
Yeah, I think so. I guess this is also the first iterations. They're probably going to think about it and like improve the experience over time. Um, and maybe like, to be honest, if I was a product manager at like Google, I would just say, okay, let's just launch the simplest version and get it out there to users and get feedback, right? And then for roasted, we get the feedback, we use that to like improve it. But at Google scale, like,
Yeah, so usually that works, but I think the expectation is different when you're operating with something like Google Scale. I think I would also counter that like move fast and break things attitude works, but the ad revenue, it's 85% of their revenue in 2023. So you really want to like be experimental with that. Like I would think that you'd want to be a little bit more cautious, and being conservative doesn't necessarily mean you're being cautious in the right way. It means don't put out like a half-baked product idea. That's also not very conservative, right? That's the wrong attitude. Like really think about it. Really think about how you can improve the experience, because you also see that the AI game is moving so quickly. People will remember their initial interactions with you in a way that they don't with an MVP style product. You know, like you saw R1 Rabbit get absolutely shredded by a bunch of different reviewers, and that's basically what people are going to remember, because there's going to be so many other companies trying to maneuver and do things in the space. You don't really get a chance to iterate again here in this space. I think at least it's going to be much harder to.
yeah, yeah.